10-4 Colts. Frank Wright is the head coach, third year. A lot of key matchups, man. Offense and defense in this one, man. For me, start with the Colts offense, man. Obviously, people assume with Phillip Rivers, they want to just throw, but they are physical. They run that rock, man. They got two running backs, Nyheim Hines and Jonathan Taylor. Those dudes, man, you watch them on tape, man, great run demeanor, contact, balance, patience, make guys miss. Very, very challenging out the backfield. And then up front, they have one of the premier offensive lines.
Bro,
I mean,
I'm watching these games.
Yes,
I'm like, wow.
Yes,
wow.
Dude. It's nuts. It's nuts.
Was this us like 4 years ago?
Yes, it was. Oh my God. Except we had way better quarterback play.
Pass protection.
Oh my God.
The run game. You could see these guys getting 2-3 yards off the line of scrimmage here, and the holes that these running backs have.
It's crazy.
I was just like, wow. Wow.
Compared to what we've been seeing this year, where you're like, all right, as long as y'all stalemate, just don't lose. Just stalemate, we'll be okay. Like, they are moving people. And it starts up front with them though, man. Quentin Nelson, premier guard in this league, man, one of the best to do it. Obviously, I mean, that whole offensive line, you can go down the list. They got a crazy center that's a beast, man. What's his name? Kelly, I think his last name. Yeah, Ryan Kelly. Yep, he's another one. Beast, man. They're just a very complete team. On offense, their biggest weakness is Phillip Rivers. That's, to me, it just depends on which Rivers you're going to get, man. If you get the Rivers that's accurate, that's hot, the streaky Rivers, then yeah, it's going to be a long day, man, because T.Y. Hilton and Zach Pasco, man, have been producing.
They've been heating up.
They definitely have. And they have a good rapport with Phillip, I feel like, too. But the flip side is sometimes Phillip will hit you in the face with the ball. Sometimes Phillip makes some bad decisions. Sometimes that arm look a little janky. It's really just depending on Phillip because, like you said, man, they don't get sacked a lot. They don't give a lot of pressure. Like, they do a good job up front, man. And they got guys that win, guys that are winning on the outside in terms of their routes, and they got a strong running game, man.
No, I think you put it good with Rivers because I'm watching it, and you see sometimes, and that's going to be the key, man. Like, between our defensive line and their offensive line, who's going to be winning this? Because I think if you get the pressure on Rivers, have him make some of these bad decisions, there's going to be 2 or 3 picks that are going to be available to us.
Like easy ones. Like, it's not crazy. It's more flirting with Eli Manning type. Like, will not see you and hit you square in the face with the rock, man. Like, not good.
And the games that they've lost, in all 4, they've had a turnover.
Yep.
And 3 of those 4, they've had multiple turnovers. But outside of that, they're one of the top 3 teams in the league of
easy.
What would you say of
the turnover differential?
Yeah, turnover differential. Yeah, because on defense,
protecting the ball and creating turnovers.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't. With that being said, they don't give away a lot of turnovers here. They really don't. But in the games that they've lost, that has been a consistent element.
To me, when I watch them, I think of a higher end version of Washington. In terms of when you think about Washington's offense, they will take the shots when they need to, but they're going to make sure they protect the ball. They're going to run the ball. They're going to get their backs featured in the offense, protect them up front. Like I said, a higher end version because obviously Phillip Rivers is better than Alex Smith or Dwayne Haskins. Obviously, the running backs in Indianapolis are not a lot better, but they are better than the running backs in Washington. And obviously,
you're seeing with Taylor, man. He's coming on strong.
Like, he looks
really good.
Man, he looks good, dude. So to me, that's the thing. Like, when you think about when they played, it's like, it wasn't this crazy tempo. It wasn't this crazy aerial assault. It was, man, just a traditional pro style offense, man. They're going to run, play action. You take the shots when they want to. That's what the Colts do. And honestly, they don't have to take a lot of chances because, like you said, they don't turn the ball over a lot. The games when they're winning, man, they don't turn that ball over. And they do a really good job of generating turnovers on the other end as well. But the challenge is going to be, man, how we respond. I think, number one, Vince Williams coming back is going to be huge. You know what he brings to the table from a physicalness, a toughness, just above the neck game. That's going to help out Avery Williamson a ton. Avery's going to be able to just go back to just playing football. Vince could tell him, hey, look, man, this is your gap right here. So from here on, dude, you just worry about what the formations are. I got you on everything else. That's also going to help out Marcus Allen because now Marcus, instead of having to play 100% of the snaps at inside linebacker, now he's going to be limited to situational plays, passing plays where he's going to excel. Because the open field tackling on our linebackers versus their running backs is going to be critical. They're going to have ample opportunities where they're going to be one-on-one with these guys in the hole and on the perimeter. The tackling is going to be key. Marcus Allen, though, man, he's a great athlete. He can make those plays in space, especially on possession downs like that. So I do think that, man, as much as my eyes are going to be on that group, the inside linebackers. I do think with Vince coming back, they will be able to stand up a lot better than if he was not going to be in that lineup. And then up front, man, like you said, that's the battle right there. I mean, depending on how where do we start, man? Between I mean, you got these guys, like I said, man, with Ryan Kelly, Quentin Nelson, Anthony Costanzo, who's been doing this forever. I feel like they are solid up front, man. They, like you said, you talked about it. They don't give a lot of pressure. They do a good job of keeping him clean and moving guys off the ball. But that's what I want to see, like, because we fancy ourselves as really good against the run, especially when we're healthy. When we're at full
getting
strength,
Vince back, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. Full healthy. Yep.
Yeah.
Vince back. We fancy ourselves as downhill thumpers, guys that excel in terms of tackle for loss. We talked about Tyson now. He's been back for a couple of weeks. This is going to be their biggest test right now, man, just to see how they respond to that. Because if you don't make them one-dimensional, if you don't make this a game where Phillip has to pass the ball to move the route, man, you're gonna be
because they're gonna be
a tough time.
Because they're gonna be balanced. That's the thing.
That's the thing. You want to make them one-dimensional, man.
Yeah. So it's either we get up a little bit and have them try to come back, start passing the ball, or we just got to completely stop the run, because that's what happened in the Titans game.
Yes.
Where Derrick Henry just completely went off on him. So can we say, hey, Benny Snell, why don't you have 200 yards this game? That would help. But no, like they got up early. Derrick Henry was going off, and the Colts weren't able to move the ball. But in all these recent wins that they've had, Taylor's been going off. So that's been a key element. Rivers has been playing good along with Taylor. So they've been balanced. And to your point, like if we could stop the run, I think that's probably the first. Like if you're gonna prioritize things, like stop the run first. Because I like our cornerback matchup against the receivers.
I do too.
I mean, obviously, like Stephon Diggs had our number whenever he played against us. But for the most part, our corners have been pretty solid.
But to me, this is the difference. Like T.Y. is really good. T.Y. is a one-trick pony. He is a vertical threat, or he's going to hit you on a deep over route. He's not giving you the routes that Diggs was giving. We saw Diggs would take you deep. Diggs was cutting up people on underneath routes, stops Diggs. It didn't matter. Like, Diggs' repertoire in terms of what he's able to do from a route running standpoint is a lot more advanced than T.Y. Hilton. I like our matchup against T.Y. because, like I said, with Steven Nelson, Steven does a great job of rerouting guys. He does a great job of getting hands-on, disrupting their timing. That's the first part. So I'm confident with him, with those two guys being matched up. But then with Joe, we know Joe is the better athlete to me. Joe, I mean, his in-game experience, his playmaking ability, and how many times he's matched up with T.Y. as well. I'm confident in that too. I think that that's a situation where we'll be fine. But I feel like I only like it if they're one-dimensional and having to keep going back to it.
Yeah.
I don't like it when Joe and Steven got to worry about, tackling Jonathan Taylor as he gets to the perimeter. And now instead of them playing coverage first, they're playing run first, and they get hit with something crazy down the field. That's my biggest concern in that whole matchup right there, man.
No, for sure. Do we have is that the defense versus the offense, I guess? Do we have that all covered?
I feel like we do. I'm excited, though. That's going to be a good match. That's going to be dude. That is going to be a good match.
That's what I was thinking as I was watching their games and just doing some of the research. I'm like, this is a good team. You can't really, there's not really anything that's, oh man, so glaring. Like these guys are terrible at this or that. They're just, maybe they're a little worse at receivers than some of the top tier receivers in the league. Maybe Phillip Rivers is borderline top 10, top 15. But like as a team, they're solid and they play really solid. Yes. They don't do anything dumb.
Absolutely. I think to me, the one thing that I'm going to be interested in to see, and we're going to have to make this happen. We've struggled with mobile quarterbacks recently, right? Ryan Finley, he hurt us a little bit with his legs, not only with the zone read, but some of the stuff where, nobody's there, he just pulls down and runs. We obviously know what Josh Allen was able to do a little bit on the ground as well. I want to see this scenario where, because our coverage is doing what they're supposed to do, we create that hostile environment. That's going to be tough, but make him uncomfortable in the pocket. Because, man, when he's been pressured, he doesn't have the running ability. He's not going to be able to hurt you with his legs like that. So to me, I'm like, man, if we can make it where he's going to have to be using his legs, he's going to have to be getting bumped around a little bit. That is a scenario that is very positive for us. The problem is, like I said, it's creating that because their O-line does a really, really good job. But if we can create that chaos, that havoc, man, I think that it's a huge, huge advantage. That segment was brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbooking app. Not only is it safe, but it's secure and reliable. But Deke, we do know that, unfortunately, fantasy football, or not even fantasy football, but sports booking isn't allowed everywhere. But we do know something that is, and that is fantasy football, since I just said it. And you like fantasy football.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You get to create your own team.
It's playoff time too for some leagues.
Yeah.
And let me tell you about fantasy. Can I tell you about what DraftKings doing, man?
Sure, go for it.
So they got this fantasy football app, right? Where they're giving out $1 million in prizes every single week. I mean, just think about that.
It changed my life.
Just let that marinate for a second. $1 million in prizes every week. DraftKings doing something awesome. So make sure you download both of the apps, but more importantly, make sure you use the promo code Moats so you can receive your $1,000 in deposit bonus money and get an opportunity to make a little money.